In this video, I'm going to show you how to remove and replace the cert belt tensioner on a Nissan Frontier with a 4.0 liter. Remove the airbox hose and lid to access the area. So we're going to disconnect the mass airflow sensor connector. Squeeze that tab and lift up. And then you're going to have to take this tab out of the way because you want to take that harness out of the airbox. Just take a pair of pliers or something and squeeze those little plastic ears and pull that harness right through. Undo the two tabs that hold the air lid to the bottom box. You can actually, if you want to, pull that right up like that. Now we're going to follow the air tube right over to that throttle body, and you have two clamps holding that down, 8mm or a flathead screwdriver. Loosen them up. So now we're going to take this PC hose right off, PCV, pair of pliers, grab the clamp, push that clamp away. You can use the same pliers to just kind of wiggle that hose. Disconnect it. Now we have two screws up here taking this cover so we can access the other ones. 10mm socket, take that engine cover off. Take those two screws out and just lift it up. There's two rubber bushings holding it down after you take the bolts out. You have two more bolts right here holding this air tube down to that bracket, 10mm socket. Now we can just grab that and wiggle it right off the throttle body. Now we can take the air box, spin it up, and you'll see the little vent tube right here with a nice little clip on there. Squeeze that, push that through, take that right out. Set that aside. Now we can take that whole air cover right out of the way. With a 3/8 ratchet or a cert belt tool, we're going to take that tensioner and put it counterclockwise. And then I'm just going to take the belt right off that idler pulley and let it slide down. And then take my ratchet right off. And you can just slide it off the power steering alternator just to get it out of the way. Now we're going to loosen up that mounting bolt for that tensioner right there. That's a 14mm. I'm going to say a wrench only, probably, to get in there. 14mm wrench. We're going to turn counterclockwise and break it free. I got a ratchet wrench, see if I can make it go a little faster. There we go. Make sure we don't lose that bolt. So now when you install your new tensioner, pay attention to the location of this park pin is basically what I would call it. It's a lock pin. It locks it into place on the block. And it's about 11 o'clock here on the block. So that's going to be at this angle right there. So go ahead and bring it down in with the bolt in it. Bring that up right there, you can see it. Go flush. And start this by hand. Make sure it's seated in place. Make sure it hasn't come out of that little park notch. The torque for this mounting bolt is 41 foot-pounds, 492 inch-pounds. My 1/4 inch torque wrench, which is the only thing that can fit in there, only goes to 250 inch-pounds. So we're going to give it a pretty good effort of tightening it. Don't over tighten it. So basically once it bottoms out, I'm going to say good full 1/4 turn and you should be all set. So now we can run our belts down around the alternator, keeping it on top of that tensioner. Then around the power steering pump. Making sure it's flush with all grooves, the AC. There we go. Put our 3/8 drive ratchet on there. And we're going to pull it counterclockwise and place it on top of that idler pulley. Now before I put the tension on it, just double checking all my pulleys. Everything looks good. Crank. And I just like to give it a little, let it seat in place. Then start your vehicle, run it for like 2 minutes, shut it off, and recheck the routing, make sure it stayed in place. Now we're going to put our air box back in, and you'll see the 3 tabs right here. 1, 2, and 3, and the 3 tabs are on the air cover. I'm going to slide those right in. Let them fall into place. You'll know they're in place because of the way the seat, it'll seat up here. You won't be able to get those clamps on. Just like that. Remount that vent hose on that little tab. Let it push down in. So while you're putting the throttle body hose on, the air hose, make sure you lift it up enough to get these 2 mounting screws cleared. And then push. And there we go. You'll feel them fall right into place. Now we can grab that breather hose, put that right on, and our mass airflow sensor connector. Don't forget the mounting clip. All right, let's get a pair of pliers, 10mm socket. Pair of pliers, I'm going to put the clamp back on that breather hose, lining it up to where it used to sit. 10mm socket, I'm going to snug down on the mounting bracket. 2 screws. And then over here, we're going to tighten up our hose on the throttle body, and that's an 8mm socket or flathead screwdriver. Making sure it's nice and snug. Tighten up on those clamps. Now we can put the engine cover on. Make sure you put the rubber bushings on top of the mounting studs and push down on it. Just like that. To push. And then you have the 2 mounting bolts. That's a 10mm socket. And then you'll be good to go. When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.